More about prayer and worship. After the apostles had learned the Lord's Prayer, they asked Jesus more questions about prayer. The teachings he gave the apostles concerning prayer and worship can be summarized in modern terms as follows. When a child of God perseveres in a petition with faith and trust, it will always result in the expansion of the soul's consciousness of the petitioner, making them more spiritually receptive to God's Spirit, regardless of how naive or irrelevant the content of their prayer may be. The amount of spiritual blessings a person can receive in response to their prayer depends on their spiritual capacity. These blessings can be appropriated and consciously realized through an expanded soul consciousness. Keep in mind when praying that sonship is a gift. No child is required to earn the status of son or daughter. The earthly child comes to life through the act of their parents. Similarly, a child of God comes into the new life of the Spirit through the will of the Father in heaven. You must receive divine sonship. Through soul work, you earn continued character development, but first, you receive sonship through grace and faith. Prayer is the sincere, longing gaze of the child upon their spirit father. It is the psychological process where the human will is exchanged for the divine will. Prayer is part of the divine plan to transform what is into what ought to be. Prayer and the worship associated with it are methods to free oneself from the daily routine of life, from the monotonous grind of material existence. It is a pathway to spiritual growth and the individual maturation of spiritual intellect and religious insight. Prayer brought Jesus to the high communion with the supreme rulers of the universe. Prayer will elevate mortals on earth to the communion of true worship. Prayer is an antidote to harmful impulses and has a beneficial effect on the soul. Prayer is the breathing of the spirit life amidst material existence. Worship is the salvation of the pleasure-seeking human. Just as prayer can be compared to recharging the spiritual battery of the soul, so can worship be compared to tuning the soul to the frequency of the Heavenly Father. One of the reasons his apostles never heard Jesus pray was that their master rarely expressed his prayers in words. Jesus' prayers occurred in his spirit and in his heart.